catching dildos launched from the performance vajayjays
Or
the jeans.
The jeans.
As Daniel likes to say.
Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our SaVeg take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back
Hello.
to another episode of the SaVeg podcast.
Another fun-filled episode.
Guys, do not adjust your screens. It is still me.
It is Rose coming to you with a slightly
Altered look.
shorter do
Yeah, if you guys aren't watching the video
on YouTube.
I have cut my hair.
Mm-hmm.
So please go to the video to see
And
what I
take a
look
look.
like. Yes. Let me know what you think.
The red's still present.
The red is present.
But now it's like a little red, like kind of bob. Well, not a
Yes.
bob. It's like a, what would you call it? Like
A bob.
A bob.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
A short hairdo, if you will.
Yeah.
I chopped it all off, guys. Yes.
Did it feel very liberating?
Yes, it was very, it was almost like I lost 50 pounds.
Yeah.
It felt really nice.
Was it scary though at first?
You know, I'm actually not that afraid of trying new hair. Surprise, surprise.
That's shocking, Rose. This just in, guys. You heard it first here.
So, I mean, I was obviously a little bit, because like every time you cut long hair,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, it's such a waste because it takes so long to grow. But my hair grows very, very fast.
Yeah.
So I think,
Did you also get it dyed? Or no?
oh, today I touched up the color.
I thought so.
Oh,
It
look at you noticing things for the first time in your life. Anyways, so yes, for me, it wasn't that much of like a big deal. I've been thinking about it for some time and I was like, I think I'm going to do it. And then, it's just.
You took the leap of faith.
I took the leap and I'm glad I did.
And you were saying, fuck this, gets this. And
How you
actually,
like? You like
They
it?
look cute, Rose.
You like my short hair?
Mhm. And I think it's probably perfect for traveling.
Yes, that's another reason. So because like me and Daniel we're literally leaving tonight.
I know, like
after this recordation.
after this recordation, guys, we be on a plane.
So so we're going to Thailand and then we're going to go to Bali. So it's going to be 3 weeks in Southeast Asia. And Lord knows it'd be hot as hell
It's going to
there.
be freaking
Yeah.
sweltering there.
So I'm glad it's like, I was like, yeah, chop it off so that even my neck is like exposed.
Yeah.
I almost like could have done even shorter, but
Yeah.
it's all good.
Well, you did have it at one point, remember? Like not now, obviously, but like in the past, you had like almost like a asymmetrical.
I had that Victoria Beckham
Yeah.
bob, which everyone had.
You were. I feel like you went through like a Victoria Beckham stage because didn't you also have her jeans as well?
I mean, we all had those jeans,
I
Daniel.
didn't have them.
Those $300
I
jeans that
know.
ripped in a year.
Oh my god.
Kill me now and set me on fire.
Well, that's like I was thinking back about this as well, and like I didn't obviously have the Victoria Beckham jeans, but I had the
Why not, Daniels?
I had the Rockin' Republic jeans.
Oh my God, they were such a waste of money.
with like a little R on the butt
Yes.
cheek or whatever. So
Are we aging ourselves?
We are. And those were like I think they were like $300 or $400 as
They're
well.
so expensive.
And I don't know about you guys, but as someone that has thick thighs, I have an issue with my jeans.
You got the under thighs?
I do. I'll show you later, Rose. These jeans, you can even see, like, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
I don't know guys, if you have any suggestions as to, like, how to not rip the crotch of your pants, like, from your thick thighs, like, let me know. Because basically what happens is because my legs, like, the way I walk and my thighs are rubbing together because I don't have that fucking gap or anything.
It happens to everyone, though.
Yeah. But
Like, it happens to me, too.
yeah, but I feel like it happens to me very quickly. Like
Right.
I like.
Well, it's those thick thighs, Daniel. It's the price you pay for the thickness.
That's very true. And like even now, like these jeans haven't ripped yet, but you can see right where they're like fading. It's like a different
yeah,
color.
it fades. I know.
I'm like, no, I love these jeans. I don't want them to wreck.
The only time like that doesn't really happen to me is like when I've like lost weight
Yeah.
and like there's no rubbage. But even then, there's still like always gonna be, unless
Some
you're
friction.
like super thin.
Yeah.
And you have like a major thigh gap situation. Remember when people were obsessed with thigh gaps?
Everybody wanted a thigh
That was
gap.
like a whole thing. Anyway, And now everyone wants a thick ass.
I know.
Okay, a thick ass and thick thighs.
It's funny because like you know, on like those TikToks or on TikTok, there's like sometimes like people that make fun of like kids from like the early 2000s.
Oh my, I love those.
Oh, and they'll like be like
I know exactly, the blonde girl with the nude lips,
yes,
right?
yes. So that's one of them. But there's also this like I think they're I don't know if they're a couple, but they have like the dark emo hair. The guy one's a guy that wears like a wig, and then they'll like go to a bus stop, and like this is something that we've all done, you know, with our friends doing the poses, taking pictures. I was like, oh my god, this is so ridiculous. The nude lip one is also my favorite though because
so good.
She literally looks like every single girl that was in my junior high.
A little bit exaggerated, but still.
Even the clothes she wears, like
she kept all of them. Hey,
I know.
Like there's no way she bought those. Like
Exactly.
she definitely kept those because
Like,
some of them I forgot.
Yeah, well, and like she has like those, you know, like the low rise jeans with the like with the shirt with the belt over top.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
I know. I like look back and I was like, what the hell were we thinking?
Oh my god, that fashion was like it was horrific, but it was a fun time.
It was a fun time. It was a good time.
Anyway, we better get to the stories because we have like a million.
Oh yeah, there is this week.
Guys,
has been fucking wild.
It has gone crazy. Before we jump in though, make sure you join us on Patreon, patreon.com/the SaVeg Podcast. We're actually going to record the oddcast. August. I think I was trying to say August podcast. I don't know.
So the oddcast. So
We're
going to record the oddcast, guys.
We're going to record the August Patreon exclusive after this. So if you guys don't know, you get an exclusive episode every single month on Patreon.
Yep.
And you get ad-free content and you get every episode a week earlier than everyone else. So make sure you join. It's patreon.com/the SaVeg Podcast.
Yes. And one other thing to add, guys. So me and Rose did mention we're going to Thailand and Bali, which is amazing. We're going with a bunch of people. It's going to be great. We're actually doing another trip.
Yes, we're going to Costa Rica.
Yeah. So if you weren't able to, unfortunately, make the Asia trip and you really want to go, Costa Rica's next, guys. We're going in January. So check it out. All the details are in the show notes. Take a look at the itinerary. We're doing some really cool stuff down there and you can practice your Spanish.
There you go. Link is below, guys. So make sure you join us in Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
I'm going to be annoying for the next few months saying Costa Rica.
I love it. Rose.
I don't even know if that's how you actually say it. Anyway, guys, big news of the week. We got some major celebrity drama.
Big news of the week, no pun intended. No, that was bad. That was so bad,
well,
guys.
I mean, it's kind of related.
Yes. Okay, so I haven't really, it's been going on a lot. Like I've heard a lot of people talk about it.
Oh my God, it's
but
been everywhere.
Yeah, so allegedly, I guess Lizzo has been accused by a few of her backup dancers for weight shaming, I guess. And we'll get into the story and stuff, but it's kind of ironic because Lizzo's image is all around like, you know, being big and beautiful.
Yes.
And like, you know, she like really, you know, wears skimpy outfits and doesn't give a fuck. And she's like, you know what, you can love me for my size, like whatever, it doesn't matter. But then I guess she wasn't like that with her backup dancers.
Oh my God.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So it's like a lawsuit situation.
Yeah.
So it's not just, oh, like Lizzo said this to me. They have a lawsuit, which kind of seems like it feels more legitimate when there's like a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Because you kind of have to have evidence, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's been accused of not only the weight shaming,
but
also of sexual harassment.
Yeah. And creating a hostile work environment through sexual, racial, and religious harassment in several incidents occurring between 2021 up to 2023. And I guess I do think that it feels like it's a little bit more legitimate when there's a lawsuit behind it. I mean, it could be.
It could be false.
Yeah,
we don't
it could
know.
be false. But I mean, this is literally everywhere.
People are going crazy. I think it is because of the fact that this is kind of like when the Ellen thing got brought to light.
Yeah.
It's very similar because like Ellen had a very squeaky clean sort of image.
Yeah. But it's not even, you're right. I think when these stories come out, it does have a lot to do with, it's like the opposite of what they're promoting. So,
exactly.
So with Ellen, not only did she have a squeaky clean image, but she had this image of somebody that was really caring and like really looked after people, you know, like was caring about people's problems and things like that. And then it comes out later,
exactly.
You know, hostile work environment, terrible conditions, all this stuff. And then Lizzo, you know, again, known for body positivity and self-love.
Oh,
and then this happens. So
yeah. So basically, I mean, I don't know the full details as well because I just kind of like heard about it. But basically, the dancers, so some of the dancers of the singer are involved in this lawsuit.
Yeah.
And basically, they criticized, they alleged that Lizzo criticized a dancer's recent weight gain. So crazy. And later berated, then fired that dancer for recording a meeting. Oh, I heard about this. So apparently she like recorded a meeting on her phone.
Yeah.
Like the dancer.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a he or she or whatever, but like this person recorded a meeting on their phone, and then they apparently, again, guys, this is what I heard.
Alleged.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard that they like made this person delete the recorded file.
Yeah.
They like locked this person in a room and like made them delete the file.
Fuck.
Because obviously there was something incriminating in there. Anyway, that's one of the things. But apparently, Lizzo allegedly pressured one dancer to touch a nude performer at a club in Amsterdam.
I heard about this as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So apparently she like brought a bunch of people, or like her workers, the people that are on her payroll, to some sort of nude club. She didn't say it was a nude club.
Yeah.
And, it was apparently very, it's Amsterdam, right? Shit goes down in certain clubs in Amsterdam. So already that's kind of, you might want to let people know it's going to be a new club.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
And then also on that same trip, apparently right after this, she I guess something set Lizzo off, where she was, again, all allegedly, she then subjected several of the dancers to an excruciating 12-hour audition after making false accusations that they were drinking while they were working, that they drank while working.
What?
Yeah. So it's like there's so many like levels.
Right.
And then and this I don't know if you can fault Lizzo for this, but the suit also alleged that Lizzo's dance captain, but I mean, she should know what the dance captain is doing. She's like a very devout Christian, I guess, and she was trying to push her Christian beliefs onto the other performers, and then basically not being nice to those that had premarital sex, all other kinds of stuff as well.
But while also simulating oral sex, sharing lewd sexual fantasies, and discussing one performer's virginity. Yeah. So like not the most Christian sort of behavior. So, well, it's interesting because the lawsuit isn't like, there are definitely allegations toward Lizzo.
Yeah, yeah.
But it seems a lot of it is toward this dance captain.
Yeah.
This person named Shirlene Quigley.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like not necessarily more so the dance captain, but it seems that it's this team of, the higher ups in this Lizzo empire.
Yeah.
That seem to be, having issues here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what else is there? Claims include sexual harassment, creation of a hostile work environment, false imprisonment. So I think this is
that
where
was when they got her to delete,
and also maybe like taking them to the nude club or whatever, and making them feel like they can't leave potentially. Because like here's the thing, when you are the boss, right?
Yeah,
and you bring your workers to some place, unless you make it very explicitly clear, like you're allowed to leave whenever you want, like, this is just chill, like do whatever.
Yeah.
There's a chance that the workers, are going to feel obligated to stay.
Of course. Mm-hmm. Of course. Because, and it comes back to this concept, that concept of like somebody having undue influence on somebody else because they're in a position of power. Like, for example, they'll say like doctors or someone that has authority, like you will generally follow what they're saying because you have they've built that level of like trust and credibility through their profession. So in this instance, it's like Lizzo's obviously, pardon me, the boss. She's obviously the boss. She's running the company, and they're getting to work because she's the performer, right? So if she's saying, "Hey," and doesn't make it clear, and is like, "We're going to this nightclub," or "We're doing X, Y, Z," well, it's your boss. You're gonna fucking do it because you don't want to lose your job. That's your livelihood, right? So it sounds like she's using some of it, again, allegedly.
Oh my God.
It sounds like she's using that position of power to make not a great work environment for her employees. And also I'm like, it doesn't, the lawsuit doesn't say that whether or not Lizzo knew about this like head performer, and if she was
like that, the head dancer person,
the dance captain or whatever. And if maybe she didn't know some of the stuff that was going on. But like, I also think if it's, and this goes back to what we talked about with Ellen as well, is if your name's on something and it's your company, I do feel like you have some kind of responsibility to kind of, you might not know all of it. It might come out like some, little allegation or something, but you should know most of what's going on. And
it sounds like she's also like part of this.
Exactly.
It's not like it's just the manager or it's just the dance captain. Because it says here, I mean, she's the one that was like weight shaming apparently. I mean, we don't know enough about that aspect.
Yeah.
But it says, so when she took them to this Amsterdam club, The singer, so Lizzo, allegedly began inviting cast members to take turns touching the performers that were nude, catching dildos launched from the performance vajayjays, or vagines, as Daniel likes to say, and eating bananas protruding from the performers. I can't even talk. Performers' vagines.
Vagines. So there was bananas protruding out of vagines, and people will be eating them.
Again, there's like a chance. Oh wait, go down.
Yeah.
So basically, the group burst into laughter. Blah blah blah. Lizzo then allegedly pressured a member of her security staff to get on stage and yell to take it off. I mean, okay, not to defend.
Yeah.
But like in Lizzo's mind, maybe she's just thinking
we're
having a great time.
Yeah.
But again, it's like you probably should have informed everybody. I mean, you should have informed everybody that you're going to, this type of club. Okay. And B, maybe be aware that people are not necessarily comfortable doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And understand that you are the boss.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And I think it's a little bit different. Like if we go out, we might egg each other on and be like, oh, come on, Rose, eat that banana out of that vagine, and you'll be like, oh, okay, fine. Like whatever. But like she is in a position of power. Yeah. She is the boss. And like even in the corporate world, like if I went out with my bosses, for example, and I used to go out in London with my boss all the time and for events, things like that, they are held at a higher standard because they're our boss, right? So they're not going to be getting fucking wasted in front of clients and, egging people on to do things.
They probably would, but
yeah.
A lot of people in corporate world
that's
do.
True. That's true. But it's not, it's frowned upon. Like they're not supposed to. Yeah.
So there's a lot of different things as well. There's basically, let's see here. So in April, one person that's part of the lawsuit spoke up in a meeting where Lizzo accused dancers of drinking before performances, leading to a tense back and forth between them. Yeah. The day prior, Lizzo told the dancers they would have to audition again. Oh yeah, listen. Yeah. I saw this one. Basically, leading to an excruciating 12-hour rehearsal in which Davis soiled her pants because she was too fearful of losing her job to use the bathroom.
That's crazy.
That's absolutely insane.
And then I guess some people were fired after this, like 5 days later, because they said, due to budget cuts,
It's so crazy.
It is.
Budget cuts? Lizzo's... Are you joking?
I know.
Come on now.
This is what's so ridiculous, though. Like, I know actually this is happening a lot right now. Like a lot of companies, big tech companies and stuff, they're doing these massive layoffs, right? Like this has been kind of an ongoing theme of 2023. I feel like because they're all, what do they call it? Like it's like a cost cutting exercise, right? But all of these companies, or at least a lot of the ones that we've heard about
trimming
in the news,
trimming the fat. I think that's the term. Is that the term?
I think it is. But a lot of them, they actually don't need to make those cuts, right?
No.
So and it's kind of interesting because what they're doing eventually is going to actually cause more harm than good, I think. Obviously, if your company's losing money and you have to cut people, like that makes sense, right? Because you're no longer profitable. But if you're still wildly profitable, why do you have to make layoffs, right?
Well, I don't think that she got laid off or fired because they need to do budget cuts.
Yeah, but this is what they're saying.
I think it's because they were this person was obviously speaking out.
Yeah.
And they just didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So,
that's exactly it. So, I mean, I wonder what's going to happen now. So, I guess obviously there's a lawsuit that is going to go on. And I guess we'll have to find out and see what the outcome is. Again, this is all alleged allegations at this stage, but obviously there's several individuals. It sounds like there's three so far that have come forward and are part of this lawsuit. So,
and did Lizzo respond? I feel like she did say something.
I don't know if she's responded.
I heard she maybe did let me see if she responded.
Lizzo had spoken out. This was a couple days ago.
Yeah.
In response to several of her tour dancers leveling allegations of the sexual harassment against her, calling their claims sensationalized stories. So she's saying that they're just kind of over exaggerating what actually happened. And she goes, my work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized, adding that she's only speaking out because false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed.
God damn.
So time will tell in this case.
Oh, here it is. Here's her thing. These last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. Blah, blah, blah. My work ethic, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Usually I chose not to respond. Blah, blah, blah.
Because
As an artist, I have always been very passionate about what I do. I take my music and my performances seriously because at the end of the day, I only want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. With passion comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they aren't valued as an important part of the team. I'm not here to be looked on as a victim, but I also know that I'm not the villain, blah, blah, blah. I'm very open about my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness and make me out to be something I'm not. So she's saying like, she's open about her sexuality, but maybe it's not like she wasn't sexually harassing essentially. Yeah. And then she says, I know what it feels like to be body shamed on a daily basis and would never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight, blah, blah, blah. So basically she's denying, you know,
everything. So I mean, the interesting thing is, if this lawsuit goes through and everything happens, they might settle outside of court.
Right. And so they will never know.
And we'll never know, because what will happen is typically, I think what would happen is Lizzo, they would decide some kind of settlement. And as part of that, the agreement would be no longer to talk about what happened.
So like devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that people might be not saying that they are making this up? Is there a chance that they're making this up?
Well, I think that there's, going back to what we said before about how Lizzo was out thinking that there was, I'm sure there's some truth to the stories, right? But I think it was like, again, I don't know what happened, guys. So all of this is alleged, but like, I think maybe that there was some moments where Lizzo like pressured people, but she thought it was in fun jest.
Right.
They took it the other way.
Right.
So that caused some friction. I don't know. It sounds like there's like, could be a little bit of both.
I wonder if they have evidence.
Yeah. But I mean, she made him delete that recording.
That's true. Well, again, is there evidence of that act?
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, do you have to have evidence to file a lawsuit?
Well, I think you should have something, like, because otherwise it's their word against hers, really.
Yeah, but then when you're up against, again, not saying this is the case, but when you're up against a famous person, you know, like, because the reputation is so important, oftentimes they may just settle out of court.
Yeah.
Because this, I mean, again, alleged, and I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
You know, there has been many cases where celebrities get, you know, accused of things.
Of course, it happens all the time.
I don't think necessarily with evidence. Not that it's like this is the tough thing about these type of situations is that it's so hard to have evidence.
This is it.
So it's like, I don't know, like it's tough.
It's challenging, especially because nowadays everyone is, well, I say everyone is smarter, but like people generally,
who are you talking about, Daniel?
I don't know, but I've noticed like a lot of people, you know, they're, oh my God, I can't even talk. They're reluctant to put things in writing, right? So like anytime you're communicating, if they're trying to have a hard conversation with an employee or someone, they'll always do it like verbally. They'll never like write something explicitly on a email or something.
Oh, you mean in like the corporate world?
Well,
or like in the job world?
In general.
You think everything be documented, Daniels?
God damn,
I don't know what kind of world you live in. We're literally living on social media world where everyone's typing on their phone.
That's true.
So generally speaking, everything has a paper trail.
Yeah.
Except for maybe in like a corporate world where they're trying to fire you and they don't want it on paper.
Yeah.
But even then you can like have it recorded.
This is true. I have a feeling that this is going to get settled out of court.
God damn, Daniels.
And that we won't hear any more of it.
So you think it's true?
Well, I don't know.
God damn.
You know, it's kind of, who's to say, their word against hers. Like, you know,
Lord Jesus.
She's denied it all. They're saying that this happened. Like, it's hard to, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. So stay tuned, guys. We might never know. We might never know if Lizzo is fat shaming people. A fat shamer herself. Maybe she's projecting, you know.
Honestly, it's not that surprising.
Yeah.
People that are insecure. Here's the thing, okay? I never believed for a moment that she wasn't insecure about her weight. She is very insecure about her weight.
Oh, of course.
Okay, and and it's fine. Like you're allowed to be insecure. But I don't necessarily think that her body positivity things were fake necessarily, but it's more so her trying to convince herself that it's fine.
Yeah. And I think also it's like a kind of rebuttal against everyone that she's like, you know what, I'm just going to own this.
And So she's obviously trying to do that. But at the same time, it's very hard to let that idea go.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, like when you are, you know, maybe insecure about something about yourself, you may project that onto somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, that's what bullies do. You know, it's usually a bully that might feel insecure about themselves that start making fun of someone else for maybe the same thing that they might be insecure about.
Yeah.
So it's actually, that part is very unsurprising to me.
Yeah, true.
Even though initially you're like, what? Like body positive queen? Really?
Yeah. And then
this is why I just don't believe it.
this is not good for her image, though.
Oh,
It's like when that stuff came out about Ellen, everyone's like, oh, that's not good.
never recovered.
Exactly. So it's kind of one of those things. Speaking of, you know, I don't want to say body positivity, but like somebody,
What's the story, Daniels?
this one. I thought we talked about this one. This.
Okay, so this story I saw on social media, and so as I'm scrolling through my TikTok dopamine hit feed,
Yeah.
okay, I come across this. At first, I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
So I saw what looked like a dog, okay, but the dog looked very strange.
Yeah.
Like it looked like a dog, but also just a bit awkward. And then I found out it was not a dog. It was a Japanese man who spent 12,000 Great British pounds.
So that's like $20,000 probably.
Yeah, turning himself into a dog. So basically, he turned himself into like a I think it's called a border collie or a collie. And so he's been apparently wanting to be a dog for many years.
Yeah.
And he spent all this money. He had a
money.
lifelong fantasy of becoming an animal. Okay. And then, so he waited 40 days before. So he got like a special suit.
Yeah.
To make him. So that's what it was. Because at first I was like, did he like what? Oh my God, it's so creepy. At first I was like, did he just like what did he do? Did he have like some kind of crazy plastic surgery?
Oh my God. It's very weird.
I know, right? Like you see what I mean by it kind of does look like a dog.
Yeah.
But also it's like, it's like not a dog, but it like looks like a dog.
Yeah.
But it looks like, I mean, credits to whoever made this suit. Because
I mean, you know what? I did say he spent he spent a shitload of money, but you know, it looks good.
I mean, the suit honestly it's not it's creepy. Don't get me wrong. Because we know for a fact that there is like a man in there.
Yeah.
Like really fucking creepy. But at the same time, it's like for a dog suit for a human being, like that is some state of the art dog suit making. Okay.
That is.
So if anybody else wants to be a dog, contact this manufacturer because
Yes.
goddamn, he knows what he's doing.
He does know what he's doing. But again, like this is like really, it takes all walks of people to make up this world. Like,
I know.
You know, I know that there's like some people that like, you know, they go to like these conventions and it's called like furries or something.
Where
they'll like
a
dress.
kink?
Yeah, where they'll like dress as animals and like hump each other and stuff. Like they'll
like legit hump each other.
Yeah, like you could dress up as like that, like, and you know, have people hump you and do all kinds of things in these like fur suits. And the interesting, like, there's just all types. Like literally, I don't know if I mentioned this in this podcast. If there is something that you're into, guaranteed there is a club, there is a fucking group. I never even knew this. So this documentary popped up on Netflix. I decided to watch it because I was like, what the hell is this? There is a entire mermaid community of people.
Oh, it's huge.
It is fucking massive. They actually, at the end of this documentary, there's like this cruise that goes around and basically they hired or they were hosting on this cruise the like top merman of the year or mer person basically. And they had to go put their, you know, their tails on and do like tricks and take photo shoots and do all this stuff. And then
do they think they're mermaids?
Well, I don't know. It's a very weird thing because they're like they like feel connected to the water. They were saying, but like they're not. They don't think that they're mermaids. I don't think. I don't know. It's
very strange.
It's very unique. Like this guy.
I mean, at the end of the day, no one's as long as they're not hurting anybody.
Exactly.
What can I say? You know, I mean, I want to know what kind of psychological issues this guy has. I want to know if it's so basically the video that I saw was him like walking around as the dog.
Yeah.
I don't know who is the one walking him. He definitely had someone walking him.
Yeah.
And then it was like literally just him being pet by like random people. And I was just like, oh my God, this is the most creepy thing I have ever seen.
I know, because there's a grown-ass man in there.
Oh my God. And it's just, I don't know. It's just strange. At the end of the day, he's not hurting anybody.
No. Twitter went wild. I want to read a couple of these because one of them really caught my eye and I think you're going to love it, Rose. So one Twitter user, this is the first one. The second one you're going to love. This one, a Japanese man spent over $20,000, like $20,000 for this border collie costume. You cannot convince me this isn't some sort of weird sex thing. So maybe a furry or a Furby or whatever it's called. This is my favorite one. Men will literally spend $20,000 to transform into a border collie instead of going to therapy.
can we frame that
Yes.
and just, oh my God, that is the comment of the year.
I think I'm going to, maybe Rose for your birthday, I'm going to get that in neon and we can hang it up in here or something.
$20,000,
Yep.
Daniel.
And like, obviously, like, again, we're not saying that there's like any issues, like, to each their own. He's not
to each his own.
Exactly. He's not hurting anyone. Would that be a deal breaker if I found out my boyfriend like to dress up as a border collie?
You mean you're not gonna do some weird kinky things with
I mean,
me?
maybe I'll just have to get into it, Like maybe I'll have to be like,
Oh
all right, you
my
know what?
God.
Get me a dog costume. Let's, dive head first
Yeah.
in,
Oh God.
God damn. But I do think like with some of these more extreme cases, like I think there was a lady or a man that like did all this plastic surgery and had like tiger, like they look like a tiger almost.
Oh my God.
And I'm thinking like, go do whatever you want, but at the same time, I think there is some psychological stuff going on
obviously
that they need to deal with, and probably should be going to therapy.
Or live your best life.
I mean,
Turn yourself into a border collie.
either way, like,
I know it's absolutely like you know what? Like I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
It's giving The Lobster. It's that movie, guys, where people get turned into animals. I mean, that's this guy's dream. Whatever this is called. Again, not sure if it's like a sexual thing.
Yeah.
There's a chance it is, but there's also a chance that it's not. Who the fuck knows? Maybe it's a part of it. Maybe it's not. Who knows?
Yeah, I wonder if he like when he's going around and getting pet and stuff. I wonder if he'll ever roll over and just be like rub his belly and.
Oh
things.
my God!
It's weird.
It says that ever since I was a small child, I wanted to be an animal. I think it is a desire to transform.
Mm-hmm.
I've thought about it since I can remember.
Wow.
And he said that he has hidden his identity and his human face from the world because he doesn't want to be judged by people he knows. Oh, so like even people he knows doesn't know. Can you imagine?
No, like again.
Imagine he's like married with children.
I know. I want to be open-minded, but like honestly, like what would you do, Rose? Like if you happen to come home from work, okay, and your boyfriend
is dressed up in a dog costume,
like crawling around pretending to be a dog, like what I think you'd probably scream.
I think I would scream.
At first you'd be like, ah!
Be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, and especially if you didn't know it's him right away, right? Because you're like, who is in my house
God.
in a dog costume?
Oh God.
Oh God.
What is anyway? Again, do whatever you want, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess we can cross that bridge when we
You know,
get boyfriends that dress up as dogs.
Well, every time I think to myself, I'm a strange one.
Mm-hmm.
I come across stories like this, and I realize I'm very normal, almost too normal, very vanilla.
Yeah. It's funny, like, and this is gonna sound really, really bad, but I used to like, well, when it came to like sexuality and all that kind of stuff,
Sure.
I used to think it was very like binary in a sense that it was like you like the opposite sex or the same sex, like
right.
there wasn't any like in between.
Yeah.
And I always felt like, people that were like, pansexual or bisexual, it was more of a like, okay, pick a side basically,
Sure.
And as I learned more about like all of this kind of, not this stuff particularly, but like there is just such a wide range of what people are into. And
oh my God.
so the plausibility that somebody could like a lot of different things, it rings true. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean because of things like this, like weird fetishes and all kinds of weird shit?
No, but I'm not saying that being bi or pan is a weird fetish.
But what you're saying is like that's actually the normal aspect.
Exactly.
So it is absolutely possible.
Exactly. That makes sense. Like it was like an aha moment for me, which again, I'm not saying that it's
totally.
like
I see what you're saying.
a fetish, but it just made me think, okay, well, if people can be into dressing up as dogs and identifying as Korean, all of this stuff, I'm like, obviously this is, it's a free for all.
It's a free for
So
all. You know what? Actually, that reminds me of, I think I saw a comment, and because we're always very confused. Like there's a lot of different sexualities.
Yeah.
And I think we were talking about like, why is it like pansexual versus bisexual?
Yeah.
And I think someone commented and I was like, oh, actually that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Because our thing was like, okay, if you're bisexual, that kind of covers the basis.
Yeah.
So really, like we don't need a term pansexual, but apparently pansexual can be like you can be into like trans people, non-binary. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, pansexual is like everyone.
Right.
Like
so then,
it's like you develop a connection.
It doesn't matter what you identify. You can like anybody.
Yeah.
God damn.
To be honest.
To be like that.
I know. To be honest, if I could choose,
you would be pansexual.
If sexuality was a choice, I actually would be pansexual.
You know what? That would be actually nice.
Yeah, and you know why? I think, I do feel like, if everybody in the entire world was pansexual,
Yeah.
the world would be a better place. Only because I feel like then you truly are dating people that you have a connection with,
Right.
over just because you're that's what you're into. You know what I mean? Like you would give everybody a fair chance,
Right,
Like,
but it could be messy, Daniel.
that's true. It could be very
God
messy.
damn, it'd be messy as hell. You'd be liking everybody.
I know. And there's still a lot of stigma, especially like, I don't want to say especially for guys, but like if a guy has been with another guy,
Oh yeah, for sure.
a lot of women will not go out with him
it's a thing.
they think, oh, he's gay, or he's he's going to do it again, or X, Y, Z,
Yeah.
So I think in a perfect world, everyone would be pansexual.
Oh god damn, Daniel. And is that the final answer?
That's the final answer.
Okay,
That's
next
my
story.
Next story. Speaking of identifying as Korean.
Oh my Lord
God
Jesus,
damn.
you guys. So again, this is very a niche story.
Yeah,
But of course, because it's from my home country, I decided to talk about
of
it.
course.
So apparently, in the recent, little bit, there were a bunch
Multiple.
of back-to-back stabbing rampage. I can never say that word. Rampages.
Yeah.
So, an apparently random stabbing attack in a commuter town near Seoul. The second such rampage in South Korea in less than 2 weeks has sparked fear in a country that has long been considered safe with low murder rate and strict firearm curbs. So normally, I feel like this is a little bit, maybe not I don't know. Because people think South Korea is like super fucking safe.
Yeah.
I don't personally think that that's necessarily the case.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe compared to other places, maybe it's a little bit safer. I'm not sure. Just because I think it's because there's so many people living in such small, country, and there's CCTVs everywhere. So I think just in general, people just kind of, behave just because they're being watched. Anyways, so a man rammed his car into passersby, then got out and stabbed multiple people in a shopping mall in Seongnam on Thursday.
I'm glad you're reading this story, by the way.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to try to pronounce
Can you
that.
say it, Daniel?
Songnam.
Well, now you know how to say it
I know,
because I said it.
because I would have said.
I should make you say it.
I know. I would have said Seongnam.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
He was arrested on site, leaving 14 people wounded, 2 in a critical condition. I mean, and then, okay, let's see. And an unexplained rampage came days after another rare stabbing attack. Again, this isn't like normal. That's the thing. It's like, yes, there are crimes in Korea, but this kind of like mass attack is not as common, right? So another thing happened in Seoul, which killed 1 person and wounded 3 others. So there's some theories. People are saying that it's because, they're both like, I think younger men, maybe. I'm not sure if they're younger men.
This is exactly where I was going to go with this. If the theory, let's hear the theory and see.
I think the theory, again, I haven't read into it too much. The theory is that young men are, just in general, people are dissatisfied with life. I don't know if this article will go into it, but basically, there's a lot of kind of dissatisfaction amongst young people in general.
Yeah.
But young men and just living in Korea, and I don't know exactly what the thing is. But it's always young men.
Yeah, but I think a big part of this, and partly, and again, I could be wrong, but that was kind of what I thought.
Right.
As soon as I heard this story and it happening in Korea, I was thinking, because Korea is known, or at least globally, as like more of a safer place.
Right.
I was thinking, but I do know just from like our talks and stuff that like Korea, for example, is hyper, like people that live there are hyper pressurized, right? Like they're pressurized to be successful, to do all of this stuff, to like, basically so much pressure on young people. And I think people are starting to snap, like, and that's why you hear about like, Japan's another example too, where they have like, there's like I think it was in Japan, there's like a forest people go to like kill themselves.
Oh God, yes.
And like the thing is, and it's young people that are cracking under this pressure.
Yeah.
Because it's not really sustainable. And it is like happening kind of everywhere. Like it's starting to happen.
It's kind of happening everywhere.
Yeah. Like I saw a really good, there was a really angry young person on TikTok, and they were talking about like rent controls and stuff in Australia.
Right.
And they interviewed her, and they're like, well, what's going on? Like, she's like, I'm fucking pissed off. And she's like, what do you mean? And she made a really, really valid point, which again, I think this is kind of a global thing. And I don't know if this is completely related, but she was saying, landlords are exorbitantly increasing their rent prices.
Okay.
And it's to cover, rising interest costs and stuff. But she said, and this actually, I never thought of it this way, but it's a really good point. She said, when you buy or when you own another property, it's an investment property, right? And investments can go up and they can go down.
Yeah.
Right. So she's saying is, your interest rates have gone up, but that's a risk you took as a landlord. You shouldn't be pushing that burden onto us now.
Right.
To say like, oh, we have to cover all of these extra costs for you because this is your investment property.
Right.
So I thought that was an interesting take. But
I mean, that is an interesting take. I would blame more so the government for not having rent control.
Yeah.
Because I mean, again, we always say this. It's like when we're allowed to do something within a capitalist system,
we do it.
Yeah. So if there's no, structure in place, I know this is completely off topic, but, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't want to be like, ooh, I'm on the landlord side, but we're saying it's like there needs to be laws in place that says don't do predatory pricing. Yeah. Because because interest rates are insane. Yeah. So if everything went up like $200, like the natural kind of thought, unless you're like a really nice person and you have a lot of money and you don't really care that much, the natural thought for most people would be to increase that price.
For sure.
So there should be some sort of protections against that sort of extreme price increase.
Well, and I do think it is kind of related to the story. Again, I don't know this situation with these two young guys, but at the same time, these are more added pressures for that younger generation that are creating, these people that are frankly snapping and not, and I don't blame them, like, having this intense pressure while everything's kind of going up in cost and, it's crazy. Like
it's so crazy.
It's gonna cause more and more incidents like this, I think.
Oh God. So apparently there's like, copycat attacks. Like, I don't really know what's going on, but basically a lot of people are scared. Yeah. A lot of people are kind of like, what the fuck is happening? God,
I hope nothing like this happens to us in Bangkok or anything.
Okay, can you not? Why do you do this? Oh, you do this all the time. Where you're like, oh my God, I hope we don't like die on the street. Like, what the fuck, Daniel? Can we not?
Okay, we will. We won't go there.
Now you're tempting fate.
This is true.
Oh my God.
I take that back.
Why do you do this? I'm not even superstitious.
I know. I'm not manifesting.
Jesus.
I'm definitely not manifesting.
Oh my God. Honestly. Like, I don't understand you. I'm trying to find reasons for this, but, again, we're probably right. It's just like, people going crazy. Yeah. Because people have mental health issues, anyway, a lot of stuff.
Well, and I think it seems to be a trend in this week's episode, because look at the guy building a suit to become a dog. You have people snapping kill people and things. Like, people are starting to get a little bit like
little stir crazy.
A little bit stir crazy, a little bit wild.
Speaking of crazy.
Yeah. Oh God.
Okay, so we have to it is a very sad story. Yeah. Okay, but it I don't necessarily want to focus on the story. I have so much to say about this topic. Yeah. But it's not necessarily about this person, but I will talk. Okay, we do have to talk about this person because it's very, very sad. So this lady called Zana Dart, I don't know if I'm saying her last name correctly. So this broke in the news, and of course the way that people are reporting it is pissing me off beyond belief. And basically she was a raw food person, okay? Raw foodist, plant-based raw foodist, Russian-born influencer. She had like a decent following on social media. Yeah. And we don't know exactly, okay? I don't know if they found out now, but basically the speculation is that she died from quote-unquote starvation, okay? So she died in intensive care in Malaysia after falling ill. So she was following this raw, again, fruitarian diet. We all know how I feel about these diets. Yeah. How do I feel about them, Daniel?
You don't like them.
I do not appreciate them.
No.
I think, first of all, I hate that they are called raw vegan diets. I think we should all collectively stop calling these diets and these people raw vegans. Can we stop? Because this is where every article is saying vegan dies from malnutrition. Vegan dies. Some of them will say raw vegan, but some of them just straight up say vegan dies from poor diet. Guys, this is not okay. Let me tell you that we are both vegan and we do not eat anything like these raw fruitarians.
Exactly.
Not even close.
Not even remotely close.
Okay. According to Freely, we are drug addicts that eat wartime food.
Yes.
Okay. So we do not eat like anyways, so that's one point.
Yeah.
So this woman, Zana, was just 39 when she died. Okay. And reportedly it was from starvation and exhaustion. Okay. And so the story, so the Instagram influencer's tragic story has come under scrutiny due to her promotion of a completely raw diet. Okay. And a lot of people are speculating that it is due to her diet, that she passed away.
Well, and I think too, like, because I've heard of, again, and I don't want to throw too much shade at the raw vegan community.
Well, I do.
I know, but I have heard of people, like, I think, because when you look at a diet, like, if, like, being vegan, for example, in today's society is already a little bit challenging, right?
Yes.
If you have, like,
there is a restriction in place.
Exactly. But if you go even one step further and are like, well, now we can't have anything cooked, it has to be all raw food. It takes it to that extreme where I'm sure there's people out there on a raw diet that are eating a good variety of food. They're, but it's that much more difficult, I think, to, like, be able to get everything that you need.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and I think my issue is, you're right. There are some people that are, that do well on a raw diet. Yeah. Great. They meet all their requirements. They're doing well, whatever. I would argue for the great majority of people that try this raw diet, they fail, and they fail miserably. A lot of them have issues. A lot of them go back to eating meat because they think that veganism, ruined everything, even though it was their raw diet. And also just, like, the eating of just, especially the fruitarian diet, right? The eating of just, like, extreme, just basically like a few things, like a handful of different fruits on a regular basis. Like, you are not eating a variety. Yeah. So and also my biggest issue with this raw movement is that it's not based in any science whatsoever. There's no reason to avoid cooked food. Of course, there's good reasons to eat lots of raw fruits and vegetables.
Of course.
I'm fully, in support of that.
Yeah.
And I think this is why a lot of people feel good initially, at least, when they start eating the raw diet, because maybe they already have, like, gut issues. Most of the time when people are searching for this sort of diet, it's either they already have ED tendencies, like they have disordered eating. And so they're looking for the next thing to latch onto, or they have some sort of chronic illness or some sort of problem that they're trying to fix. So initially, when you start eating a shit ton of vegetables and fruits, you might feel really good. You're all of a sudden getting in all this, like, all these nutrients. Maybe you've eliminated something that you have a intolerance to, and because you're only eating fucking mangoes and bananas or whatever the fuck you're eating.
Yeah.
So initially you might feel good, but in the long term, there's a high chance, especially because these people, oh my God, I'm going to go on a rant. Okay. Damn. Especially because these people generally don't really believe in science, which is why they're following a raw diet to begin with. Because a lot of people that follow this diet, they're very woo woo. They're very like, ooh, like sun warrior, fucking probably believes in mermaids and fucking, don't believe in like taking supplements. They want they want to do everything natural. They drink piss and fucking go, do a water fast for 40 days for no goddamn reason. Like, they do these extreme things. And my argument is that people that promote this sort of eating, even if they might do it well, it's like the people that are going to latch onto it and follow it are most likely people that already suffer from some sort of disordered eating habits. And they are going to use this and make it even worse, which I think is what happened here. So this woman, because people are saying, because I already talked about this on my Instagram and stuff. Yeah. And people are saying, oh, it's not because she was raw that she, passed away. It's probably because she had an eating disorder. She definitely had an eating disorder. I'm not denying that she had an eating disorder. And I'm not denying that because you go raw, you're going to die. Like, that, I mean, I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah. What I'm saying is that when the raw diet promotes itself as this, like, really healthy, pure, clean way to eat without any fucking science whatsoever to say why we should avoid cooked food. Yeah. Without any of that, like, you're just simply going on just fucking vibes. Like, what are you, like, what's your, reason for avoiding cooked food?
And to be honest, like, some of the dishes, they're tasty, but I'm sure what? They are. You know what? At the end of the day, it's like, I feel like you're right. A lot of the people that promote the diet and stuff, maybe there's some people that are doing it well, where they're getting everything that they need, but it also sounds like with this particular individual, just from, like, I actually didn't know about this story, but it sounds like she died of starvation, which is different. Like, it means she was not eating properly.
Well, we don't know the full details. Yeah. But it sounds like, she would do these kind of, so basically, okay, this is what it says. So regularly she wrote about how she exclusively ate fruit, vegetables, seeds, smoothies, and juices while living in Malaysia. And so her mother attributed her death to a cholera-like infection that was exacerbated by her diet. So, I mean, again, we don't know the exact details, but yes, it sounds like she was following a very, very restrictive way of eating.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of it, because like if you're eating fruit, like if you're eating raw, you have to be very careful about making sure that you're getting in enough calories even.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not eating a higher fat raw diet. You're eating mostly things like fruits and vegetables, which are very low in calories.
Yeah, and you have to eat a lot of them.
You have to eat a shit ton, okay? And this is
look
why,
look at Freelia. She
This
eats like,
why do you think she has 20 banana smoothies?
Yeah, like she eats like, I don't know, so much fruit, like
Yes.
an obscene amount of fruit, because that is what, if you do follow this diet, like that's probably what's required in order to make those nutrient, things. Like the way that I eat, for example, if I was eating all my meals as just raw fruit and veg, I would have to probably have 4 times or 5 times the amount of food that I'm eating right now.
And even then, you may not hit all the, the nutrient requirements.
Yeah.
So again, it's like, we need to stop. Like, this is insane. And the fact that people continue to promote this sort of way of eating is insane to me. And like, some of the people are commenting when I was, ranting about this. And there's some people that are, doing this raw thing. And they're like, I've been doing it for however many years and I'm fine. And I was like, okay, well, again, like, I'm not saying that you can't be necessarily fine, but there's no reason to avoid cooked food. So if you want to eat that way, like, great. But you are restricting for no reason.
And you know what's funny though about this? No, this story is not funny at all. But is people are going to latch on to the vegan part of it.
Yes.
And then what's going to happen is that's what's going to get promoted, and it's going to hit the news, and people are going to be like, vegan dies.
It's
of
already happening.
Exactly. And it's just ironic because like somebody might die that follows like what's that really extreme meat one?
Like carnivore diet?
Paleo or something?
Carnivore.
Yeah. Someone could be following that and they'll die
of like a heart attack.
or something. And they'll be like, oh, unrelated to the diet.
Exactly.
But
and that's that's what kills me as well. And this is why I don't want to use the term raw vegan. Okay. We need to stop.
Yeah.
The reason why is because, in my opinion, comparing a raw plant-based diet to vegan diet generally, first of all, you can't really compare a vegan diet to anything because a vegan diet could be anything just without animal products.
Yeah.
Just because we fall under the same umbrella of no animal products doesn't mean we have anything in common in terms of how we eat.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like comparing like carnivore diet where you eat like all meat to just like a regular omnivorous diet and calling it the same thing.
Yeah.
That's what that's the equivalent of saying, oh, vegan dies from fucking, fruitarian diet.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like this is not at all the same thing. Yeah, if a carnivore died, they wouldn't say, oh, a meat eater dies because of this.
Because he was eating too much meat.
Exactly.
They will never.
Oh, it really fucking pisses me off.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's sad. Like, this is the thing. I feel like people that are look at her. She's very, very skinny. It's really sad. Like you could tell she's very malnourished, which I hate saying that, but it's true. Okay. And what kills me is like these people that again are potentially, cause I don't know if you know this, Daniel, because you don't really follow like the vegan movement or you don't spend that much time on the internet.
Yeah.
But there is definitely a link between people that eat a plant-based diet or are drawn to a plant-based diet and people that have disordered eating. Okay, there's a link. The reason why I say this is because not for people that are maybe like ethically plant-based, like vegan, or like doing it for environmental reasons, but people that do it for health reasons, my theory is that they have kind of disordered eating tendencies, or not always, but there's a high chance. Because like, if you think about it, this is my theory. If you think about it, why would you need to completely cut out all animal products? Okay, so assuming that you're only doing it for health.
Yeah.
Okay, and you think, oh, animal products are bad for you. If we were only doing it for health, someone like you and I we have very non-disordered eating habits. Maybe we eat too much. I don't know.
I think we're on the other end of the spectrum where we eat a lot.
But like someone like you and I that aren't very restrictive in terms of what we eat, we would maybe cut it down to like maybe we'll eat meat like once a week, twice a week, a few times a week.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't completely cut it out, just like we don't completely cut out all unhealthy behaviors from our life.
Exactly.
So my theory is, unless you have some sort of chronic illness that maybe you're trying to detox from, or you have, I don't know, some like very specific health concern, I think that there's a high chance if you're doing it only for your health, there's a high chance that you have disordered eating habits.
Well, it even says here, her friends also spoke with local media, confessing they feared, again, this is alleged, but that she was suffering from anorexia,
right,
and that her diet was becoming increasingly limited. So it sounds
right,
like even within the raw space that she was in, she was limiting herself in there as well to certain raw foods. Oh God,
that's so sad. And it says she also claimed that her body did not require water, writing last year that her fruit-based diet meant she had gone without water for the past 6 years.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, if you're eating that much fruit,
yeah,
again, that's not science, but like there is water in fruit. So like, okay, that part maybe not as crazy depending on how much fruit you're eating, but it doesn't sound like she's eating that much.
No, because it sounds like she's she's.
Oh God. So guys, do not do this raw diet. It's absolutely there's no reason. Why would you avoid rice, fucking pasta?
I know,
all the
good stuff.
All the good stuff is cooked, okay?
Beyond Burgers.
And like most of it, a lot of it is healthy.
You know what? I'm so excited, Rose.
What? To eat in Thailand?
Yeah.
I know.
And all the cooked food that we're going to eat.
Are we not going to do a raw tofu?
Well, we could.
But we won't.
But we won't.
Okay.
You can, if you want to do raw tofu, be my guest.
God, I would literally be depressed.
I will be there with a nice green curry.
I know. This is another thing that kills me is like all these people that a lot of these raw people, they live in like Thailand or something.
Yeah.
Or they used to go to Thailand a lot.
Yeah.
And I get that there's
that festival
yeah,
there?
they had like some fruit fucking festival. Anyway, and they like, what's crazy to me is like, I get it. Thailand has delicious fruit, but there's so much good food in Thailand.
Oh my God.
That I would not, like, I cannot believe that they are just, voluntarily avoiding all this delicious Thai food. Like,
I know. I'm actually, guys, that like on a side note, I'm just so excited because probably my favorite cuisine in the entire world is Thai food. And we absolutely
gonna eat like
it.
A motherfucker.
Exactly. And it's going to be interesting going back because like before I wasn't vegan.
Right.
So when I was there, I was just like eating everything, like all the curries and everything else. So it's going to be interesting to see those veganized and see what those are like. And I'm just so effing excited because I think the reason I like Thai food so much, it's like it's so much flavor and a lot of their dishes I feel like are balanced around the idea of sweet and spicy because they'll have like a really big spice in the curry, but then there's some sweetness. Like it's kind of like a mix.
Good.
Oh, and
they have a lot of variety as well. That's another reason why I really like Thai food.
Me too. I absolutely like it. Probably is my favorite cuisine.
Oh God damn!
In the whole world.
Not Indian food.
I also like Indian food. I like basically
not Korean food.
I also like Korean food.
But Thai food is good. Thai food is fucking delicious.
I think if I could pick one continent
it would be to eat from continent.
It would be like Asia.
Right. I mean that's the most obvious thing ever.
Like guys, like what were we doing in the UK and in Canada when
UK is the worst food possible.
I'm like it's very, what do they call it? Stodgy and like, it's very bland. To say it lightly, guys. Sorry if you love like your roast dinners and stuff. And I grew up with that too. My parents, when they came to Canada, they used to do a roast dinner every single Sunday. And it's like, it's not like it's bad, but it just has not really any flavor. It's like okay, just a bunch of veg, a little bit of gravy, and a roast. Like it's like there's not much. If any spices are even used, I don't think.
I mean, you be white as hell. They don't use spices.
I don't think so. They might put a little bit of salt and pepper.
There's very little creativity. My theory, and I've said this before, I think, I don't know if on the podcast, but my theory is that the countries where, people have to struggle a little bit to get some food on the table, like not super affluent countries, tend to have better food. And the reason why is because, they have to be more creative with the different like spices and plant-based foods. Whereas like Korea, for example, not that Korea's like now, like it's prosperous technically, but back in the day, like when my parents were young, like they didn't have like a shit ton of money. Like it wasn't like it wasn't like, for example, like Germany, okay, like no offense to German food, but like it's basically just like meat and potatoes, right? It's just like a slab of meat and then like fucking bratwurst, fucking sausages, like whatever what is German food? I don't even know. It's a bratwurst.
It's a schnitzel.
Is schnitzel Austrian? I don't know.
I don't know.
Again, like, sometimes we love a good schnitzel. We love a good bratwurst.
Oh, we do.
But, I mean, not so creative, It's just a slab of meat, whatever.
Well, and this is the thing, too. If you have a lot of, like, just going from what dishes are in those countries, generally if it was circled around meat, is, like, you know, you don't have to do much to it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
That's what I mean.
Whereas with plants and stuff, like you do have to get a little bit more creative. You have to like, you know, and honestly, some of the food I'm just like is so good in Asia. And I'm
It's
like,
so good.
like so good. And that's why I'm like, I don't understand some people even in Calgary when they're like, oh, I don't like Vietnamese food or something. I'm
Oh
like,
my God,
I'm
no.
like, are you effing crazy? Guys, mark my words. If I ever get a boyfriend, who knows if that's ever going to happen, but I'm putting it out there and manifesting that I am. If he doesn't like Asian food in general,
is
like
it deal breaker?
Japanese, Korean,
I
Thai,
think it'd be a
all
deal
of it,
breaker for me. I don't think I could do it.
I don't know what I would do. Like,
You know,
I
I
actually don't
judge
know what
his.
would do.
I judge his. It's deeper than just food. You know,
Yeah.
I judge his sense of taste. I judge his cultural, you know, awareness and
Yeah.
experiences. It's like, how can you not? And also, like for me, the food aspect is such an important
part of life.
part of life and
Yeah.
part of enjoyment with one another.
Well, and think about all of our social activities are
Yes.
surrounded around food
Food
generally.
and alcohol, which is why we can't date someone that doesn't like food or drinking.
I know. I was chatting with one guy. He's been sober since like, I don't know, for 3 years. But I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna. I know that sounds bad, guys. But I was like, because I definitely enjoy a glass of wine. Like
That's the thing. No judgment. If you're sober, like congratulate. Honestly, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
For me though, when I'm dating, you know, I like to have a glass of wine with
Yeah.
my, you know.
Well, as long as they're like okay with that, then I think it could work.
No, Daniel, for you, no. Anyway,
Excuse
continuing
me.
on. So that's the story. Unfortunately, it's so sad. Like people need to stop. Okay, guys. Like, and what's so sad is
Yeah.
that I feel like with eating disorders and stuff, it's like, how do I say? I feel like people around you know what's going on, right? It
Yeah.
sounds like they were trying to help her for years.
Yeah.
But unless you want that help, it's maybe similar. I don't know. I've never experienced having an eating disorder.
Yeah.
But maybe it's similar to somebody having like a drug addiction where you just feel so helpless.
Yeah.
Because unless they want to help themselves.
Well, this is the thing. It's
Yeah.
really hard because at the end of the day, and they say this all the time, they're like, you can't force people to change.
Exactly. Oh, God.
They have to want to do it themselves. And I guys, there used to be a really good show here in Canada, which
I know exactly what you're going to talk about.
it deals with addiction, and it was called Intervention. And it would be these families that are like, it was so sad.
Was that a
to
Canadian
watch.
show?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure. I'm pretty
okay.
sure it started in Canada or maybe the US,
Okay.
but now they do both. Like,
Right.
I haven't watched it for a while, but and they would have these families come together, and obviously these families are at their wits' end. They don't know what to do with this person. I still think it's good that they're trying to get them help and stuff.
Right.
But almost every episode where the person was like resistant to take the help, but then
Right.
eventually took it, they're like, fine, I'll go because my whole family wants me to go. Like
They relapsed.
almost all of them, because but it was the people that were like right away, they're like, yes, I need to get out of this. Like, you know, those
Right.
are the people that generally would be more successful on average. But yeah, it's like it's a really
They need the help.
Yeah.
They need
They need to want it.
Yes, they need to want it. Sorry. I think one thing I need to mention also is that I think what's so dangerous about this raw movement, and I think the reason why it's like, you know, it feeds into eating disorder territory is because it is masked as this like super healthy, you know, vibrant, you know, way of life.
Yeah.
This is the healthiest way to eat. And these people that are in this movement, they fucking talk out of their ass about something they know nothing about,
Yeah.
which is like nutrition and like human, whatever, biology. They talk like they have a fucking PhD in human nutrition.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how are you sitting here with such conviction about something you know nothing about? So these people are spewing this garbage. And then people that are like, you know, because someone that's following this that may have, you know, potentially eating ED tendencies or disorder eating, they're gonna be like, well, this isn't an ED because this is just the healthiest way to eat. This is just you know, everything else is toxic.
yeah.
And that in itself is potentially an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, guys, I could go on about this, but let's move on to one more. Oh, wait. How many more stories? One more.
1 hour.
Okay, one more story, guys. So YouTube's biggest star.
Do you know him?
I don't watch him, but I know of him. Yes.
Yeah, he does like
He's very big.
yeah, he's huge. I mean, I think he's the biggest.
He's literally the biggest star.
Yeah.
Not my type of content. I don't think I've ever watched one of his videos. I think it's very extravagant and
It is.
crazy.
He does like, so guys, we're talking about Mr. Beast, and his video style, I think I've seen a couple, like he'll just do the most crazy things, like, you know, give away a freaking car to somebody,
Yeah.
or for example, I know he did a live version of Squid Game.
Yeah.
So he does stuff like this where the production costs to do these videos must be absolutely insane. Like we're talking millions and millions of dollars for one little YouTube video,
Right.
just for him to do it. But then
But he'd be making, yeah, exactly.
So I guess
So he was sued.
Yeah.
So he has this burger company, which I kind of heard about, which I don't know that much about. And I guess it's called Mr. Beast Burgers.
Yeah.
And apparently, wait, what was the title? So apparently he's being sued for $100 million by company behind his burger franchise. So I guess he was working with a separate company to do this like burger franchise. Because obviously if you're, a YouTuber, you probably don't know anything about fucking having a burger franchise.
Exactly. So I guess the Mr. Beast Burgers, it was called, the company that operates the kitchen for the pop-up restaurants. I don't really know this whole what is this business, but like pop-up restaurants, whatever, virtual dining concepts is hitting him with an alleged $100 million lawsuit.
Damn. Seriously, guys, don't become famous and rich because you will be sued. So their suit is a response to Donaldson. I don't know if is Donaldson Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I think so.
Filing a lawsuit against the company for reportedly serving disgusting, revolting, and inedible burgers. Interesting. Okay.
So it sounds like it's a little bit of back and forth. So it sounds like he filed a lawsuit against the company alleging that they're not serving something. Then they've turned around and been like, what the fuck?
So I think what happened, based on what I understand about this burger company is that he kind of like created some sort of like blueprint for this like whatever burger.
Yeah.
And he kind of like maybe sold that concept to other places to sell as a Mr. Beast burger.
Yeah.
I think that's what I heard happened. And I guess this company that is now suing him maybe wasn't keeping up with the standards of what Mr. Beast expected.
Yeah.
So now apparently this company is alleging that Mr. Beast's very public stance against their company has hurt their clientele, citing now deleted tweets the YouTuber sent out where he told his millions of followers that he wished he could end his burger business, blaming the company I partnered with won't let me stop, even though it's terrible for my brand. Oh, so I guess they were doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
wow. So apparently Mr. Beast burger brand began feeding mouths in December 2020, creating 1,700 global locations by the end of 2022. That's fucking insane.
That is insane. The burger franchise operates solely on an order out basis via delivery services.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So it's not like a sit down restaurant or anything like that.
Right.
But it's interesting. I mean, I think it's smart for these like influencers and YouTubers to be branching out because, who knows what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good
totally.
good to diversify. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen because, they do have it's hard to say because if he's speaking out and saying that the burgers aren't to his standards, blah, 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 and then this company is saying because he tweeted that to his fans, they've lost
that's like defamation potentially.
Exactly. So there could be grounds for a defamation lawsuit.
Oh god damn.
And if it costs if they're allegedly suing him for $100 million, if they can prove that because of his tweets and things that he did, but
that much money.
that kind of revenue was,
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god damn, guys, seriously, stay off Twitter.
I know.
Twitter is not a place to spend time because people will fucking dig up your tweets.
Oh yeah,
from 20 years ago.
Oh, they will. You know what? Honestly, this is a case of basically something that should have been handled behind closed doors. Like, don't air your dirty laundry out here, guys. Especially when you're famous. It's like, hang on, let's take a step here. It's like. This might not be a good example, and I might get some hate for this. But do you remember the Johnny Depp and
Amber Heard situation?
Yeah, that whole thing and how basically they were both airing out their shit.
Was it on like social media though?
It was more like a legal legal
is that their fault necessarily?
Well, what I'm saying is because in this example for the two of them,
right? I can't remember the story, so I'm just asking.
I feel like they were both really not great to each other, right? Like they both did really crazy things to each other, and I'm almost like this is something that you guys might have tried to settle away from what's happening. Like this didn't need to. You didn't need to air your dirty laundry, basically,
right?
And I feel like that's what's happening. Like what Mr. B should have done. It sounds like maybe he's tried, but like sit down with the company and have an exit strategy. And also, anytime that you have a business with somebody, you should have an exit strategy. Like there should be something where if you do want to step away from the business for whatever reason or like whatever it might be, you would have something like a clause in your contract or to that effect. Like maybe it's that he steps away for like a certain amount of time or whatever it might be. There's every contract generally has a termination clause. So, I think this is something that they should be handling.
Oh God. Yeah, this definitely, especially like Yeah, I mean, this is like a business you are partnering with. That's kind of, they don't, he might be a millionaire YouTuber, but maybe he should have taken a class on
business
and public relations.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, on that positive note, that brings us
to the conclusion.
To the end. What is the conclusion, Daniel?
The conclusion is people suck.
I was going to say people be crazy as hell.
People, I think there's a lot of...
We have some major issues as a species.
Yeah, there is a lot of shit going down, guys.
Oh my gosh, you guys. And honestly, yeah, it's crazy. I feel like when we're gone, probably shit's going to hit the fan. Something insane's going to happen. And we're going to be like, well, we can't talk about it until later because we pre-recorded a bunch of episodes.
Yeah, guys. So we don't worry. Even though we're gone,
yes,
we're still going to continue with the content. It's going to be coming out every single week.
So tell your friends, tell your family.
Tell your friends, tell your family. Follow us on YouTube. Yeah. Give us a thumbs up. Follow us on whatever podcast platform you are listening to our beautiful voices on.
Yeah.
Then you get updated as soon as we release new episodes. And of course, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/the SaVeg podcast. There's a membership, starts as low as $3 a month, and you get an exclusive episode every single month, as well as every episode a week before everyone else. And all the content on there is ad free, so you don't get those pesky ads either.
Yeah. And guys,
yeah,
don't forget to come to Costa Rica.
Yes.
If you want to come along, the link is below, and you can find out all the details, and you can book through that link. And there are limited spots, so make sure you grab a spot for yourself.
You guys can witness my my broken Spanish in person.
Lovely.
I'll be the little translator.
Oh, it's okay, Daniel. We have a guide.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening, guys, and we will talk to you next week when my hair was still long.
Oh,
so
right. That's gonna be
a strange thing, but
people will be like, "She got extensions."
Yeah, what are you gonna do, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.